In an intense pursuit to stop Andrew Teague, this gruesome video shows a Colombian police officer and an officer from the Franklin Sheriff's Office hit the road for over an hour trying to catch the culprit.
An officer from Columbus Police and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office.
Unlike every other day, this could have been more dangerous and deadly, claiming the lives of these police officers. However, with expertise that knew no bounds, Andrew Teague, who had reportedly shot his brother over a dozen times during a fight on February 2, 2021, was being chased for a felonious assault. From the dashcam footage obtained from the officers in the helicopter who monitored his movements, Andrew Teague, while shooting, didn't want to get caught. He persistently drove recklessly in the opposite lane, endangering hundreds of lives.
On Friday, Columbus police tried to get Andrew Teague to stop.
Unfortunately, he tried to bail by slamming into an innocent person on the road, and this led to his demise. This was the long-awaited moment of the fearless officers as two K-9 officers stepped out of their vehicle with a gun, which led to a gunfire exchange with Teague, who was already fatally injured at the time.
Teague then slams into an innocent person.
He's trying to bail, he's trying to bail.
This new dashcam video reveals a wrong-way police chase on Highway 401 that ended in tragedy. This huge U-Haul truck going the wrong way was being pursued by about 20 police vehicles, which led to a chaotic situation.
Pursued by officers, speeds through traffic, going the wrong way.
This occurrence in Ontario got even scarier as it led to a family crash, claiming the lives of a 3-year-old baby boy with his grandparents visiting from India. This disastrous event was also witnessed by the baby's parents. They were being rushed to the hospital.
That fiery crash is now becoming clearer. Investigators say it was a 3-month-old boy who died.
Many believed that this police chase began with a liquor store robbery report, as the suspects happened to have pulled out a knife on an off-duty policeman while trying to rob the store. Investigation indicated that the 21-year-old U-Haul driver was found dead, and another person was severely injured and taken to the hospital. However, this was just speculation. One could tell what had caused the flooding of police vehicles on the highway at that time. The beach was also against the law and order of the state.
The 21-year-old driver of that U-Haul van was also killed, and investigators now say another man they describe as a passenger was sent to hospital.
In this gripping dash cam footage, Dallas police officers begin a quest to take down 4 crews of robbers who are responsible for more than 40 business robberies across the city.
RV Mike 3085. RV.
In this video, a car hastily reverses and speeds off from a cell phone store on East Ledbetter Drive around 11 a.m. and is followed closely by 3 police officers carrying guns pointed toward the moving car. They all rushed horribly into the car, chasing after the suspect's vehicle. Miraculously, the robbers were chased down, with guns targeted at one of them, who was lying down on the floor with his hands over his head. The police van surrounded the culprit, leaving him with no choice but to helplessly surrender.
Nope, I got him.
At dusk, a shocking scene unfolds as a suspect flees from a traffic stop in Florida. The suspect was being wanted on multiple grounds. From this video, the police chase endured for over 5 minutes as the suspect unwaveringly drove so fast. However, they caught up with him as he was being surrounded closely by 3 official vehicles, and he was arrested and handcuffed into the police van at this time. The night wasn't young anymore. This striking footage shook the internet and sparked several comments on social media. It shows an ATV hitting a police cruiser, utterly damaging the cruiser's windscreen. The cruiser drives up Faram Drive, a road that leads into a local park, Faram Drive, which has been designated pedestrian only since 2020. Walkers and adults pushing strollers can be seen on the other side of the road. Officers say they noticed an ATV driving at a high rate of speed. The officer slowed the cruiser and angled it to protect the families and pedestrians. They had just passed, while providing a point of eagerness to the side of them for the oncoming ATV to pass the cruiser. Instead, the driver of the ATV lost control and hit the front passenger side of the police vehicle.
Authorities say the driver will be charged for the incident when they recover.
On March 13, 2023, PCT officers were notified about a flock hit happening in Cobb County. The Dashcam footage video shows a car chase that took place around Cumberland Mall and along Cobb Parkway.
It's a Senator County on a red jack. He says it was used in a homicide.
I believe that vehicle northbound passing Acres Mill on Cobb Parkway.
The vehicle that was spotted is connected to a severe case in Miami, Florida. The chase began after spotting the vehicle on the OFC Byerman Highway. The suspect tried to evade the police. However, the traffic stop made the police officer catch up with the suspect at the front of Cumberland Mall.
I'll be behind the vehicle. We're on Cobb Parkway getting ready to turn into the mall.
As they pulled into the parking lot, the officers began to block him, making it difficult for him to continue driving. After a while, he was finally surrounded as more policemen joined in the chase. Realizing this was a dead end, the suspect got out of his vehicle and tried to reach for his waist whilst the officers on guard continued to point their guns at him. The defenseless offender now crawls back to the police officer with his hands down to get handcuffs. This unusual footage shows another police chase shooting a suspect against one-way traffic through downtown Kalamazoo. Unfortunately, the chase went the wrong way through Kalamazoo's busy one-way streets on April 15, 2021. A Portage man led Michigan State Police on a 10-minute chase from Comstock Township through downtown Kalamazoo on April 15, 2021. The chase went the wrong way through Kalamazoo's busy one-way streets. The suspect, Jeremy Thrasher, 22, was wanted for an April 13th shooting. He crashed his vehicle on North Park Street and fled on foot before he was caught and arrested. He is awaiting a preliminary examination and faces multiple felony charges related to the shooting and chase.
He's running right there. That's the car I'm parked.
A disastrous fatal crash closes Highway 401 in Whitby, as recorded in this Dashcam video. From this incident, Durham police have reportedly confirmed fatalities after a serious crash on Highway 401 in Whitby, allegedly caused by a vehicle fleeing from police.
Breaking news of a major fatal crash on Highway 401 in Whitby. This is a shot of the 401 near the 412 in Whitby, where the crash happened.
This pursuit began with reports of a robbery in Clarington earlier in the evening. When officers arrived, the suspect fled in a vehicle, prompting a pursuit. The suspect then got onto the 401 and drove into the office in the opposite direction before crashing near Highway 412 in Whitby. A white vehicle driving the opposite way on the highway crashed. Moments before the crash, the police revealed that there were fatalities, but the exact number of people who died remains unknown.
The suspect fled in a vehicle, prompting a pursuit. The suspect then got onto the 401 and drove in the opposite direction before crashing near Highway 412 in Whitby.
This outrageous and scary clip begins with several racing police vehicles chasing the culprit vehemently. With the sounds of gunshots fired from all over the scene, it appears even scarier. The Dashcam video shows an intense police chase, crash, and shooting with Florida deputies. A new body cam video from deputies shows the moment an 18-year-old driver, a person of interest in the disappearance of his dad, crashed into a synagogue in Mount Dora after fleeing police during a chase. The driver is also accused of shooting at police, who returned fire, striking the man, and eventually taking him into custody.
Lake, shots fire! Shots fire, Lake!
This strange dash cam video shows a moment of near-fatal police shootout. The agile suspect goes heads-on, combating the law enforcement officers after being caught in a red car. He gets out of the car, fighting back and aggressively shooting at the two policemen.
There's a shootout between two Pennsylvania troopers and a man now about to be sentenced for attempted murder. Here's Tony DeCope.
This was a near-fatal encounter that was caught on camera. The newly released video shows two Pennsylvania state troopers in a gun battle with a man about to be sentenced for attempting to take another's life.
Somehow he finds his feet again, grabs a pistol from his car, and opens fire before driving off.
In this clip, a suspect finally gets caught displaying a wild end to police pursuit in Little Rock, Arkansas. On May 20th, 2023, Arkansas State Police Trooper Jackson Shoemate pulled over a black GMC Sierra at U.S. Highway 67 South. Troopers T. Van Schoik and A. Escamilla were also there. The driver, Christopher Monroe, was wanted for drug charges in Sherwood, Arkansas, and had fled from the police before. During the stop, Trooper Van Schoik tried to stop the car but accidentally hit a barrier. Despite this, the chase continued, with speeds reaching 120 miles per hour over the Arkansas River. Monroe turned around but was hit by police and crashed into a wall. The crash was so severe that the police car almost flipped. Monroe was taken out of the car, and police found a large amount of drugs, a gun, and cash inside. He was charged with multiple drug-related offenses and assaulting law enforcement.
Hey, stand him up, mate. Go ahead there. We're up in the car right now. Get the road clear.
This footage shows a police officer running for his life. It reveals how he narrowly escapes a careening from the side of the road. This policeman was seen by his car side as another car suddenly maneuvered its way swiftly toward his direction in an uncontrollable manner, hitting both the car and the officer slightly, causing him to fall to the ground. The officer quickly picks up himself from the ground and rushes over a barricade to make his way to safety. He then calls 911 for backup, reporting the present situation. A truck was found going the wrong way on a one-way road and was asked to stop. However, he refuses and begins to speed off while being chased by the police officers.
King 721, we got one felony yield. It's a truck.
The suspect struck two pedestrians and an occupied vehicle in the West 7th area during a chase Saturday night. The Fort Worth police released footage showing a chase with a suspected drunk driver. After a long, hectic, and dangerous chase, the truck driver partly crashed into an oncoming vehicle moving across his.
Yep. Where's he parking? Right down at 7th University. We got him. Stop.
This causes the truck to tumble abruptly, destroying it, with smoke filling the air. With an unfathomable gut, the suspect still tries his luck to get out of the car and escape, despite having been surrounded by policemen. He then realizes that there is nowhere else to go, so he runs back towards his vehicle lying on the ground, with his hands on his head, and surrenders. A wild dashcam video shows an Oklahoma trooper thrown from the side of Highway Crash Canadian County, Oklahoma, on Thursday, January 18, 2024. Trooper Jesse Gregory was talking to the driver of his traffic stop from the passenger side when a black SUV hit the pulled-over vehicle on Interstate 40 at Cimarron Road, knocking him into a grassy area off the highway. All 3 individuals involved were treated and released, and Gregory is expected to recover. This horrific dashcam footage shows Pasadena police officers shooting armed carjacking suspects. On July 30th, 2022, the Monrovia Police Department advised Pasadena Police Dispatch that they were pursuing a vehicle that had been carjacked in the city of Pasadena on July 29, 2022. The suspect, 35-year-old Adam Ewings, was armed with a handgun during the commission of the crime, and it was believed Ewings was potentially still armed with the handgun.
On Friday, July 29, 2022, at approximately 11:25 p.m., officers from the Pasadena Police Department responded to the area of Mountain Street and El Molino Avenue regarding a carjacking that had occurred. The victim told officers that his white 2002 Honda Odyssey minivan had been stolen by an unknown male Hispanic suspect who was armed with a handgun. The victim told the officers the suspect was wearing a black hat, a dark hooded zipper sweater, and dark-colored pants. Approximately 2 hours later, on July 30th, a red light traffic camera captured a picture of the stolen Honda.
After about 18 minutes, Monrovia PD handed over the pursuit to Pasadena PD. Pasadena PD pursued the vehicle across the city until Ewings stopped at a shopping center on N Lake Ave. After several minutes of negotiating with Ewings to surrender peacefully, Eunice was shot by a Pasadena police officer. This led to his end as the minivan moved forward. Another wild dashcam video reveals how a few seconds can claim lives during a police chase in Texas. With all police officers seen drenched in their blood from the shootout, they had finally gotten the untamed criminal, who at that time lay helpless on the ground after firing several shots at the officers. 2 South Carolina police officers involved in the fatal shooting of a drug suspect will not be charged with a crime. The shooting happened in November as Casey Police Department officers were attempting to arrest a man on drug-related charges. Dashcam video of the incident shows the suspect resisting arrest before pulling out a handgun and shooting one of the officers. Upon receiving a welfare check call, a New Mexico State police officer arrives at the scene, discovering a man slouched behind the wheel of his car on the interstate. Drawing closer, the officer observes the man, later identified as 26-year-old Oliver Ashley Toledo Saldivar, emerging from the vehicle with his hands raised. Unbeknownst to the officer, Saldivar is linked to a recent incident in North Carolina and carries a concealed firearm. The officer attempts to gather information, but the encounter quickly escalates. Saldivar reaches for an object in his jacket, prompting the officer to draw his gun.
Hidden in his jacket, the officer asks Saldivar to stand by his patrol car to get some information. And that's when things take a violent turn. State police say Saldivar reached for a black object in his jacket pocket. And that's when you can see the officer step back with his gun drawn.
Moments later, Saldivar tackles the officer, and the sound of gunshots echoes in the dashcam footage. Despite being wounded, Saldivar persists in his struggle, attempting to seize the officer's weapon before producing his own. Fortunately, a passing trucker intervenes after witnessing the altercation. Dashcam video shows a crazed gunman shooting about 12 shots in 16 seconds, point blank at a police officer. According to the cops, the suspect, 27-year-old James Lockhart, was pulled over because he had a broken taillight. Lockhart took off, speeding through a neighborhood, before suddenly stopping his car and emerging with a gun. An officer and a police dog were wounded, but both are expected to make a full recovery. Police in a small Wisconsin town are being praised for their bravery after. A dramatic shootout all caught on tape. As a suspect only leaves his truck inspired by police, the officer returns fire and the suspect gets back into his vehicle. He was later found dead.
Watch as a suspect calmly leaves his truck and then opens fire on police. The officers return fire as the suspect gets back into his still-moving vehicle. He was later found dead inside.
Warren police released video footage from a pursuit that ended in a deadly crash. In this dash cam video, a suspect was being chased by the policeman, who later caught up with him and tried to have a word with him. The suspect eventually took off again, and he had no choice but to go after him. This led to a deadly car crash.
Oh, 1050 into a box truck. He's underneath the box truck.
In a riveting scene captured by a police dash cam, the tension of a high-speed pursuit unfolds. A yellow sports car races away from pursuing officers in Florida, escalating the drama. However, the situation takes a turn when the police deploy a sophisticated high-tech grappler, effectively halting the dangerous chase in its tracks. The device called the grappler is being introduced by police departments everywhere. It wraps around the tire of the fleeing vehicle and stops all forward motion. So far, there have been 600 stops using the grappler. A video captures a Portland police fatal shooting that took place at night and shows 2 policemen in combat with the alleged suspect. The officers tried all they could to hold the suspect down and handcuff him, but he forcefully kept on fighting back. The policemen sensed this could escalate, putting their lives and that of the accompanying victim a step back, and shot at the culprit severally until he was calm.
Hey! You need help? You need help?
Stop it!
Officer, you need help?
Stop it! Let it go!
Just...
Video shows police arriving at Vander Grove Honda about 12 minutes after the shooter recently fired from his job at the dealership. This dashcam video shows a shooting at a car dealer shop. The police officers got to the scene and identified the suspect with guidance from bystanders. They found Abbas Al-Muta in the parking lot. Police shot the 25-year-old 2 minutes after they arrived. It remains uncertain how many times Alma fired the rifle or whether that gun was obtained legally. But surveillance video shows him inside the dealership, confirming witness accounts. With the shattering sounds of sirens all over, these police officers are hell-bent on maintaining order once again. As they engage rapidly in this chase, trying to make close contact with the suspect's vehicle by giving him no escape route, he evades the catch several times. This went on for over 4 minutes as they finally got in contact with the suspect, this time with an arrest. They shot continuously at the vehicle until they had the culprit where they wanted him to be. This is a short clip that reveals a chaotic situation as the suspect narrowly escapes his end after crashing into a police cruiser. His car is suspended and lands upside down in such a horrible way that it shatters. However, these courageous officers remained unshaken by their targets. They rushed out of their vehicles, surrounded the culprit, handcuffed him, and arrested him successfully. Tiffin police released this dashcam video of an officer shooting and taking the life of a man armed with a knife. After the law enforcement officer relentlessly chased the culprit, the suspect in a red truck suddenly pulled over, coming to a halt. He aggressively alighted with a knife targeted at the officer. Blake Fleur was shot, and his life was ended by the Tiffin police afterward when he charged at them with a knife. This hilarious dashcam footage of a Delaware County pursuit ended in Polaris. From the video, as it appears, an intense chase happened for over 10 minutes, with the suspect moving at an insanely high speed. As expected, the suspect crashes into another vehicle at a car park. The suspect brutally damaged his vehicle and, of course, gave up himself to be arrested on several charges. Dashcam video shows a Clark County deputy chasing a woman accused of driving away from law enforcement on 3 prior occasions in Ohio Tuesday. The pursuit came to an end after Paula Potter lost control and hit a light pole and a tree. Authorities said Potter was arrested for multiple misdemeanor and felony warrants and charged with 2 additional felonies. Her passenger had 2 warrants. Potter was taken to a local hospital and then taken to jail. Her passenger was taken to a local hospital in serious condition. On October 7, 2022, at about 1:29 a.m., New Haven police responded to reports of a car accident near the intersection of Chapel Street and Blatchley Avenue in the Fairhaven neighborhood. Shortly after arriving at the scene, the driver of the vehicle opened fire and shot Officer Chad Curry, striking Officer Curry twice in the shoulder and ear. Officer Curry returned gunfire, and the suspect fled the scene. The suspect was later identified as 36-year-old Jose Claudio. Authorities arrested Claudio of New Haven after determining he was inside a home on Putnam Street in Hartford. He was taken into custody without further incident. On August 30, 2021, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office shared dashcam footage revealing an altercation between two deputies and individuals during a traffic stop on US 192 in West Melbourne. The event unfolded around 1 p.m. when Deputy Brian Potters initiated the traffic stop on a vehicle near Interstate 95 in West Melbourne. Shortly after, Deputy Tyler Toman arrived to support Potters in engaging with the three occupants of the vehicle. On August 30, 2021, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office unveiled dashcam footage capturing a tense encounter between two deputies and several individuals during a routine traffic stop on US 192 in West Melbourne. The scene unfolded at approximately 1 p.m. as Deputy Brian Potters initiated the stop on a vehicle near Interstate 95 in West Melbourne. Deputy Tyler Toman promptly joined to assist, engaging with the three occupants of the vehicle. In this case, Wilder emerged as the primary aggressor, clandestinely concealing his weapon until he stepped out of the vehicle and promptly initiated gunfire on the deputies, aiming to evade arrest and potentially inflict harm. As the confrontation escalated, Wilder repeatedly sought cover behind nearby vehicles, employing tactics of concealment. Eventually, he closed in on Deputy Potters, viciously striking him multiple times in the head with the rifle butt, resulting in severe lacerations and tissue damage. Deputy Toman on the scene once again engaged Wilder and shot him multiple times, eliminating the threat to himself and Deputy Potters. The suspect was subsequently pronounced dead.